Psychologists, sociologists, philosophers, theologians, and educational researchers are frequently suggesting that boys and girls are not homogeneous groups. Do boys learn differently to girls? Are there specific teaching styles that are better suited for boys than girls? Why do boys outperform girls in some subjects? Should we plan differently for boys and girls learning? Gender-responsive pedagogy refers to teaching and learning processes that pays attention to the specific learning needs of girls and boys, setting a climate for learning that benefits all learners. It's not intended to compartmentalize, but rather to remove barriers to learning and raise the performance of all students. Let's explore gender-responsive teaching and learning and see how it can be best practiced to improve the learning environment and improve outcomes for all groups of learners. Gender-responsive pedagogy aims to eliminate gender bias and stereotypes from the classroom and create opportunities for both male and female students to be actively involved in learning. For example, boys want to feel respected to begin to engage, and girls want to feel secure in their environment to begin to share. Therefore, using learning approaches that appeals to these and other gender-specific needs will increase their interest and desire to participate and hence learn. It's important to have equally high expectations of students from both gender groups and address areas of weaknesses in learning without adhering to typical gender stereotype biases. Provide students with relevant, useful, and timely feedback throughout the learning experience. Both genders want to showcase their strengths. Boys want to actively learn and in a way that allows them to use their logical thinking skills, while girls tend to enjoy showcasing and explaining the process that builds up to the result, showcasing their creativity skills. It is worth using questions and scenarios to which both genders can relate and give optional activities that meet each gender's needs. There are teaching and learning pedagogies that, when used masterfully, will meet the needs of all learners. However, professionals are always looking for new things that will elevate their teaching and the accomplishments of their students. Part of doing so is understanding what works well for all and what works well for the few, and then being able to deliver for each of these groups. Teachers need to become cognizant of gender differences. The primary differences are to do with their physical behaviors, the style of their social interactions, their academic motivations, their attitude to learning, their performance focus, achievement drivers, their decision making, and their choosing. In addition to those differences, there are also the difference in the ways that teachers relate to boys and girls. Some of these differences are the proximity with which conversations or verbal feedback is given. There is also a tendency to praise boys more than girls, and a tendency to overlook negative behaviors boys display whilst over-highlighting negative behaviors that girls display. Additionally, there is a tendency to make boys' knowledge seem more important and boys themselves more competent. Furthermore, some teachers make references to girls being more versed with words, reading and writing than boys. Teachers need to actively bring balance in these areas for the benefit of both genders and their achievement as well as their personal development. Becoming a gender-responsive teacher will require the shedding of certain stereotypes we have of students and focusing primarily on what works best for each group of learners. Developing a greater sense of gender awareness as it relates to learning is crucial. This way, teachers can adequately respond to learning needs of girls and boys by appropriating their classroom processes and practices. Teaching quality has a significant impact on academic access, retention, and performance. Plan a range of activities, provide a range of resources and language, and use a classroom layout which gives students choices in how they learn and the permission to use them. Exploring active learning approaches and including kinesthetic learning, groups of learners, resources, collaboration, variation, relevance, and applicability are all some of the factors that needs to be considered when teachers are planning their learning to incorporate the needs of all their learners based on their gender and other profiles and learning needs. The goal of all educator should be academic achievement for all students. To realize this, teachers need to act on the differences between learners that will remove barriers to their learning and give them a greater opportunity at succeeding. Gender responsiveness seeks to bring about a change in the mindsets and attitudes by creating and fostering an environment in which all learners are appreciated, respected, secure, fairly treated, and adequately equipped to succeed. How do you believe that your faculty could cater for the gender groups in your subject area? What are some of the ways you will be catering for the gender groups in your classroom?